Doug Flynn, certified financial planner, co-founder of Flynn Zito Capital Management, joins us now. And last week was the best week of the year. We continue now with some modest gains on top of that. What about the stock market for all the people that are in it? What do you make of this run we've been on?
I think it was interesting. Looking last week, hedge funds had a really low equity percentage, and they started to buy last week. And a lot of that came off of the Fed's comments, which we've spoken about. And maybe that was the turning point. What I find also more impressive than, the Nasdaq is up about 8.5%, 9%. The S&P is up about 7% just in the last week. But even bonds in the last 2 weeks are up 3%. And bonds are coming off probably their worst 3-year period in history. They're down about 20%. So for the more conservative people too, it's a good time to be invested at the moment.
Big question, does it continue? Do you think we're on something of a kind of a start of something big here, or resetting? I mean, what's going on?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't really like the stock market valuations where they are, especially if next year's outlook comes true and the valuations are too high. I do like where bonds are valued relative to where they are, and it's a much safer trade to be in, and the yields are so high. So I might lean more towards the bond side of things and wait for a better entry point for stocks if you haven't participated at this point.
All right, a couple of other stories to run by you today, including one that we talked about when there was speculation it might happen. It has now happened. The company WeWork, which was a high-flying company years ago, did indeed file for bankruptcy protection, and how the mighty have fallen with WeWork, valued at $47 billion in 2019, goes public in 2021, valued at $9 billion, and last Friday the market cap was at $45 million. So the stock closed at 84 cents. So WeWork, boy, for people who don't know, this was, this work-sharing company where you can go in and grab a desk and work alongside people from other places and the like. It's just a darling of the market and the economy, and it all came crashing down. What does it tell us?
You know what it tells you? Even a good idea with good backing and well-financed and in a good spot, sometimes things are completely out of your control, such as the pandemic, and then the fundamental shift to people not wanting to work in offices at the moment. And so, a lot of things had to go right for what they put together to work, and they can handle a few things that might go wrong, but they just couldn't handle what did go wrong. And the problem is, like, with the stock trading at 84 cents, people feel like, oh, maybe that's an opportunity to buy something that if they can come out of bankruptcy, they'll come out a new company. But, I always think back to when GM went bankrupt. They basically killed that stock and started over. So you have to be very, very careful with what you do here. But the real problem is, 20% of, just as an example, in New York City, 20% of all the office space is either unleased or out for sublet. And that's the highest I think it's ever been. So the chances of this coming back to any degree in the near future are virtually nil.
A whole separate story, which we should talk more about, and we will, with some of those leases coming up, and what's the future of commercial real estate look like in this city and others, is going to be a really, really big topic. Final topic today, though, because people love talking about doing their taxes. The IRS is apparently ahead of the game, ahead of schedule on going digital. So says our Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. They've put $80 billion over 10 years into this from the Inflation Reduction Act. So does this mean anything for regular people?
Well, I think what it means is that, to me, it's as typical, it takes the government 25 years to get into the 21st century. And that's basically what this is they're test piloting it with a 2024 program for the federal and then about 13 states. And if all goes well, in 2025, they can roll it out across all 50 states. That's the plan, and it's basically doing what private companies have been able to do for a while. But it will, coming soon, we'll be able to upload all of our documents. But ultimately, everything, including the tax returns, can all go digital, and that would certainly speed up returns. It will speed up everything, and get them into the modern day, if you will.
Yellen also reporting that they got a new fax machine at the Treasury Department, which was great. All right, Doug, good to see you. We'll talk to you again soon. Doug Flynn on the financial news for us.